Okay, here I am, bad light and all. Okay, I got on the scale at the beginning of May and I was PO'd. So you can fill that in yourself. I weighed 221 pounds and 7/10, which is 222. Or in the old metric system, if I went to lift weights in a tournament, in the Masters lifting, I would come out at 101 kilos. And it wasn't that long ago that I wanted to be at 94. So I didn't like it. So I'd had about 15 pounds and I knew it was there. The last couple of months, going back 3 months, I was struggling with a bad tooth and I just lost concern for everything. I had trouble getting into the dentist. The dentist didn't take care of things, what have you. I was struggling with pain and I got heavy. I got off track. So at that time I said, well, it's time to become serious about this. So I went back to my Gary Taubes Why We Get Fat diet that started this channel. That's when I first read the book by Gary Taubes. I was reading the book Why We Get Fat. He has his diet on like page 156. I used to have the book. I don't even know where it went. I haven't looked at it in forever. So I don't use it as a point of reference. The diet, he said, people, if you to lose weight, you get up and eat a sausage or some type of fatty meat for breakfast with some greens and some eggs. And then for lunch, you might have some meat and some green salad. And then for supper, I believe it was more meat and a low-carb product. So when I was in San Diego, I was working in a call center. That's where I was, and I was fat. I didn't like it. So that's what I did. I went to good stores. I got good food. I got good sausage. I didn't get cheap ones. So I think these sausages were fairly lean, if I remember right. I didn't even pay attention. I did not know about keto at that time. He might have mentioned that word, but I didn't see that as a keto diet. Maybe it wasn't. The reason I'm speaking about keto is I have family members that started talking about keto this and keto that. But in any case, the one liberty or the one nice thing every day I gave myself at that time was some chocolate mousse. And the reason I ate chocolate mousse is obvious. If you know anything about food, the mousse is high in fat and low in carbs. It's a high fat sweet. So I did give myself that liberty once a day, where my normal course of event is to eat sweets at every meal. I don't think I snack too much, but I do eat sweets at every meal. So let's continue on to the forward. I don't want to go on and on with this. Okay, so that diet, I lost 3 pounds a week almost consistently, so it worked for me. So at the beginning of the month, sorry about that notification. At the beginning of the month, I started on the diet, and I was very strict. I almost went to a fasting diet. I almost went to a total fasting diet, total meat diet at the beginning. I went for, as they say, my window of eating is very short. I'd say for the average for this month, I'd say it's about 6 hours. So in other words, to put this in a didactic fashion, I might eat at 10 and quit eating at 4 and no food eating between that. So there's been a lot of suffering. And I've noticed that if you eat a lot of carbohydrates, it's worse. It seems to be worse. because your body's going, where's that at? I need to be feed. I need some sugar. I need sugar. I need sugar. I need sugar. So in any case, I lost a lot of weight quickly because the carbohydrates, if you have a lot of carbohydrates in your body, when those carbohydrates are burned, which they burn fast, it drops the water out. So you lose a lot of water and you lose your minerals, which is why you get cramps. So that's why they recommend fasting drops. So in any case, I'm 2 weeks into it and I've lost from 221.7 to 215.1. I've lost, no, excuse me, 213. I really dropped last night. I really dropped. So I must have put on some carbs. So that's like 8 pounds. So I've been more strict than I was on my old diet. I've even been more meat based. So it's come off. So I'm beginning to look at stage 2 where I add more energy into my diet. Energy being carbohydrates and fats. Carbohydrates and fats. Because I love candy bars. I love ice cream. All that stuff. And those foods have a place in your diet. Those foods have a place in your diet. They're not necessarily bad. If you get too much of them, they're not good. So I'm in that stage. And I want to begin training again in a vigorous state because I haven't hardly exercised at all. I hardly don't walk. I hardly don't lift. I haven't been doing it. Because in my view, there's a stage 1 where you get a very low amount of energy, you lose the weight, and then after a point you start adding back burning energy and eating energy, and you get yourself cycled, and so. And you got to watch it, and you'll cut. That's what's going to happen. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. We'll see how I go, and if I quit on it, and it's either a pass or a fail. Right now, I don't consider this a fail or a pass, but I had a good start.